you think about life and death, you realize how little control you actually have over anything. You're like a boat on a river just kind of moving towards a waterfall, you know? Like you're drifting regardless of how hard you're steering in the other direction. And it's really daunting to think about, but also really beautiful. My name is Joel Chidi Sydenham, and I'm a visual artist and poet. You can kind of feel that like you're carrying something. You get input from life, and it does something to you internally, and then it comes out in whatever way it wants to come out. When I was 17, I lost my mother, and it makes you question, you know, your reality, why things happen to you. And then I recently had a daughter, probably the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. It caused me, for the first time in a long time, to really contemplate my existence and really wonder, when you're watching life from both ends, from a death perspective and from a birth perspective, you realize a lot of that stuff is just happening by itself. It is quite difficult as a human being to always know how you feel. Feelings are quite cloudy. Poetry and art, it definitely, for me, is a tool for communication. It's probably the thing that comes most naturally to me. I like to write poetry by hand. I just like the feeling of the actual movement of writing and the feeling of the pen on the paper. I feel more connected to the work that way. I feel with expressing art, it gives you sometimes clarity and insight into your own mind and your own heart, and how you feel can come out on a canvas or a sheet of paper. So I try to connect my poetry to my artwork, although it doesn't always line up. I might be going through some kind of emotional turmoil, and I think we can define emotions like, you know, sadness, anger, happiness, but usually it's more gray than that. I try to let it come out in the way that feels most natural. Sometimes it doesn't capture the whole entirety of what can't be intellectualized. So then I try it again with writing, and I see, okay, how can I express this literally? Like the poem isn't necessarily a description of the painting, and the painting isn't necessarily a description of the poem, but they're both expressions that are coming from the same place. Soaking, sinking, tired, from riding the tides of life's ocean. Floating from coast to coast with nothing to boast of, bar the treasures of truth. Navigating my thoughts through future mist, towards something new. Blue when I look back on ships that sailed past. Lost, for all that's here to see is my eerie reflection. Drifting, I find myself sifting through shipwrecks left behind. Consistently diving too deep, almost waiting for a weight heavy enough to anchor me. Whales turn to whales all around me. Monsters encircle and surround me. Silent eruptions that go unheard create waves that reverberate into the world. Before the boats of hope ever found me, I learned to swim in the same currents that tried to drown me.